Hello and welcome. This is our special edition. Here with me is Dr. Riyad Dawood, a lecturer at RC University. Dr. Riyad Dawood has 3 different master's degrees in English, public administration and social workers. He also specialized in social work. Dr. Riyad Dawood is also editor-in-chief of journal at RC University. Please welcome Dr. Riyad.
Thank you. Thank you.
And today we are going to discuss on issues that related to post-conflict situations in our country. As we know, in our country the last 1 month there was a conflict between the federal government and the Tigray regional states. And I was also there to report the situation around there, especially in Dansha, Maikadra, Humara and so on. My question is therefore, how people who are victims in these conflicts should be assisted by government and humanitarian aids and other stakeholders?
Thank you very much. Before moving directly to the assistance and other things in the war area, first of all, we have to identify situations the people pass through during the war and post-war situations. Actually, this is unexpected war that the people were not ready. Even if the war was the long war that was existing before what happened a month ago, people might be ready for the war, but they were not ready. It was a sudden, created within one night. Therefore, several problems will happen, I hope, especially in humanitarian situations, like people might migrate to other country or internally displaced from their living place, and they might lose their properties, and they lose the beloved one, and there is a trauma of war and violence in that area. Therefore, government and other organizations should give attention for these things. It's not only the economic assistance, there has to be psychological assistance for the society. And therefore, we should give attention for the aid, not only for economic assistance, but also for psychological assistance due to the trauma of the war and the trauma of the violence. I hope the government is working on the humanitarian aid, especially the emergency assistance, by supplying the food and food materials. And I hope within short period of time, the non-government organization also will join these assistance. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have real data that they are working on that, but they should join the humanitarian assistance. Also, there has to be a situation in which they can assist them by psychological assistance, like consulting the people on how they will continue their life as usual without any trauma. Actually, a trauma might not be healed at once, but there has to be a situation in which they can assist in that way.
And this conflict happened amid the COVID-19 has been challenging the country and even the globe.
Yeah.
And when such things happen one after another, how should challenges should be solved and measures should be taken?
Yeah, and not only COVID-19, there are several other diseases connected with the war and the violence. There are people who needs medicine but couldn't get it due to the conflict. For example, people living with HIV/AIDS. Due to the war and the conflict, they might not get their medication in a proper way. And people with tuberculosis needs their medicine at that time. 1 month is very long for them to get the medicine. And the COVID-19 is the worst because the people who displaced internally and migrate to other country couldn't get opportunity to avoid the mass collection of living in one place because they don't have a chance to live separately. They don't know each other, and it might create a great problem in disseminating the COVID-19. Therefore, this also needs another attention. I hope while assisting the people, we have to give attention for this also. We have to make a protection against COVID-19 and other problems like HIV/AIDS.
And the sectors that are affected by this conflict is among the others, education sector and economy is the first. They are in the first list, and especially in education, grade 8 students are set for the national examination this week, and grade 12 students are not yet, and the university students just drove back to their home due to this conflict. Before, due to the COVID-19, and then due to this conflict. And how do you evaluate these things?
Okay, thank you. According to the African post-conflict intervention, the African Union has designed into, I hope, if I didn't forget it, in 2006, they designed that some 6 points should be considered. At the beginning, security should be kept first. Then after security kept, then the intervention should be to humanitarian, that is emergency assistance. And then at the third level, political governance has to come in place because stability needs in that area. At the fourth level, socio-economic, including health and education, should be reconstructed in the area. Therefore, due to this war, first in this country, in Ethiopia, as similar to other world, the education was interrupted due to COVID-19, then due to conflict, including the Tigray regional state. Due to the conflict in other areas also, the education was interrupted, but now other regions are designed to give examination for grade 8 and waiting for the Tigray region to give the high school completion examination at grade 12. Therefore, when we think about socio-economic development, socio-economic reconstruction, the education institutions should be reconstructed. The health institutions should also be reconstructed. Therefore, after securing the political governance, that means every administrative institutions should be reconstructed before the education reconstruction. Therefore, if the governance, I hope yet not completed, reconstructing the governance of the region. Therefore, after the governance was reconstructed well, it's possible, I hope, it's not as easy as other things to reconstruct the educational and the health institutions, but it needs immediately after the governance reconstruction.
And the government, as you have already said also, are playing its role to the extent, if it is not to the extent it should be. But other stakeholders should also play their role in this regard, and especially the political parties in the country, elders, religious institutions, and so on. What is your comment on this?
Yes, this is not about the political opinion. This is about human beings.
Sure.
Therefore, in the place where the war existed, we have to think about the people, not about our political stand. I hope every political parties in the country is expected to intervene on the humanitarian aid and even the development, the sustainable development, sustainable peace of the area. Therefore, we should not discriminate any part of the citizen. Every Ethiopian has a role to reconstruct the peace as well as the development in the area. Therefore, in my opinion, every political parties and every citizen, leave alone the political parties, every citizen has to participate in reconstructing the Tigray regional state and assisting the society in the area.
Mm-hmm. And what about the international humanitarian aid?
The international humanitarian aid also should give assistance because this is about human being. It's not about Ethiopia, it's not about Africa, it's about the whole world human being. Therefore, the humanitarian organizations, the aid organization usually established to assist human being, not discriminating the area. Therefore, I hope they will come and immediately join the government in assisting the people in the area, I hope.
And your scholarly view on people who are victims in these areas, especially in areas hosted to the conflict. As I have mentioned so far, areas like Dansha, areas like Humara, areas like Maikadra, especially in Maikadra, there was a very difficult situation happened. And how the traumas should be rebuilt.
Now, this needs great attention because a post-war trauma is the toughest trauma because people might lose their beloved ones, people might face the violence, especially as I heard from news, in Maikadra there was
wives, women, whose
people
husband
were killed
sure.
in their house. Therefore, that killings might create a tough trauma on, especially on children. Therefore, to assist such kinds of people, there has to be a psychological assistance, especially through non-governmental organizations and the scholars. The scholars should join, the psychiatrists, sociologists, psychologists and social workers should assist the society in order to heal the traumas. And people who migrated to other area and who displaced from that area due to the violence and the conflict should also be treated. There has to be an intervention, psychological intervention to bring them back. And reunification also needs psychological assistance.
Sure.
In order to bring back the migrated and internally displaced people to their place, especially in Maikadra, there has to be psychological assistance. Therefore, when the people come and join the society, unless we treat them before bringing them to their place, their life might not be good. Therefore, psychological assistance is needed, and scholars and non-government organizations, religious institutions and religious leaders should join in assisting these people in post-conflict traumas.
I want also you to raise the social cohesion, especially in these areas. People may fear each other, in these difficult situations.
Yeah.
So how social cohesion should be in place?
Yes, this is also one of the bad post-conflict results. Even the people who were living together, who were keen even, might fear each other after